in 2012, a lone wild wolf appeared on islands near me. And this was kind of an improbable situation because, first of all, in anyone's living memory, no wolf had ever been out in these islands. He was on the islands for 8 years. And for 6 of those, I was an observer of his life. He figured out how to hunt, how to survive, much to the surprise of scientists. And he figured out how to hunt the improbable prey of seals primarily. And so he was surviving very nicely. What he didn't understand maybe is that the likelihood of another wolf coming along was really, really slim. I'm pretty sure maybe each day he thought that maybe another wolf would come along, and he did continue to howl, and he did continue to hope probably for company of his own kind. But I observed him, he observed me, and we just developed a very quiet, meditative way of being with each other. There was one encounter with Takaya that I will never forget, and also was really a very powerful moment in my own life, and for which I am extremely grateful. I have 3 daughters, and we are all a very, very close family. My middle daughter, she's the peacemaker of the family, and the one that is kind and gentle. She began to experience really severe pain in her shoulder. It was to the point where she was basically living in constant pain, to the point where she would sometimes, when I was with her, she would be crying. It seemed that there was a lesion in the rib, and the surgery was going to be very difficult. It was going to be life-threatening. So for me, it was really, really difficult watching her go through this, and also very scary. And it was just such a freaking helpless feeling. So on the day before her surgery, this particular morning, I got up very early. I was really nervous and scared of what might happen in the surgery. So I went out to the islands to just calm and to seek a bit of solace. And I just knew I was going to see Takaya. He was up on a bluff, one of the bluffs that I had learned he really liked to watch the sunrise on. So I just anchored underneath. The sun was sort of behind me, rising over the mountain. And then he started to howl. I felt in that moment like he was howling out my anguish and my fear, and he was sending out my plea to the universe to keep my daughter safe. And he was expressing something that maybe he was picking up from me, I don't know. And I just found myself just with tears. Yeah, it was a very powerful experience. And I was incredibly grateful to his expression of my feelings. And once that happened, I was just able to let it go, this fear, and to trust that everything was going to be okay. So I sat there with him for maybe another hour as the sun came up and the day began. And then I packed up and went back to my human world. My daughter had her surgery and everything went well. And it was discovered that it was not cancer. So that was a big relief. And that moment of Takaya expressing his anguish, maybe with his own life and with his loneliness and his longing for something, in that moment he was able to express something for me as well. After 8 years of living his life on these islands, and he was probably about 10 or 11 at that point, which is very old for a wild wolf. For some reason that we will never know or maybe fully understand, he ended up in downtown Victoria, in the city of Victoria, just over a year ago. It was January 2020. He was eventually caught and shot with a tranquilizer gun by the conservation officers, and they decided to move him, relocate him to an area to the west of Victoria. He encountered a hunter, so that was the way Takaya ended his life. The legacy of Takaya, lone wolf of the islands, lone sea wolf, has spread far beyond the boundaries of his islands. And every day still I get emails or messages from people who want to express to me their gratitude for, me sharing Takaya's story with them. Maybe a wolf provides us a little connection with that wild life of our own. That moment comes back to me when I was given a bit of comfort from this wild animal. And I think about a lot of moments of Takaya. That was one of many very poignant, powerful moments that I had in the presence of this wolf. So now that he's gone, those moments are a rich texture woven through my life that I'm forever grateful for.